The MX Master 4 has arrived, and the story around its launch is more interesting than you might expect for something as simple as a mouse. It started with a teaser from Logitech Korea, carrying the bold tagline, "Tomorrow changes everything." That one line sparked discussions across forums and social media. For some, it sounded like classic marketing hype. For others, it created genuine curiosity. After all, the MX Master line has always stood out as the go-to productivity mouse for professionals, creators, and power users. So, when Logitech says something big is coming, people listen. The community reaction was mixed but lively. Some joked that unless this mouse could stop rage quitting or solve world hunger, the world was not exactly in danger of being transformed. Others pointed out that the last big change Logitech hyped was just an extra side button. But beyond the jokes, there was a real sense of anticipation. The MX Master series has earned trust, and fans were eager to see how far Logitech was willing to push with the fourth generation. The timeline for the launch also added to the buzz. According to leaks and listings, the MX Master 4 was set to officially launch on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. Logitech did not announce a global event time, and that was not unusual. The company rarely does flashy stage events for peripheral launches. Instead, they usually release a press statement, flip the switch on their website, and allow retailers across different regions to start selling the product simultaneously. This straightforward approach fits Logitech's style. It puts the focus on availability rather than spectacle. Interestingly, some lucky buyers in Europe got their hands on the MX Master 4 early. Retailers accidentally shipped units before the official date. Pictures and first impressions from those early owners began circulating online, essentially confirming that the product was real and ready to go. Once those images appeared, there was no doubt left. The MX Master 4 was not just a rumor. It was already in boxes sitting on desks and being used in real workflows. At the same time, Logitech's software ecosystem gave another clue. Logi Options Plus, the app that customizes Logitech devices, had just received an update. The update included full support for the MX Master 4. That meant that when users connected the mouse for the first time, the software would immediately recognize it and allow customization. Software updates like this are rarely accidental. They are timed to coincide with hardware launches. So this update confirmed that Logitech was ready to deliver both the hardware and the software experience in sync. Now let's look at what has actually changed in this generation. One of the most obvious differences is the material. Earlier models, especially the MX Master 3 and 3S, used a type of rubber on the shell. While it felt nice at first, over time it could become sticky. Many users complained about this issue, especially after long use in warm conditions. Logitech has responded. The MX Master 4 uses a new shell material that eliminates the sticky problem. This makes the mouse more durable, easier to maintain, and more pleasant to use over the long term. It is a small change, but for people who use their mouse for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, it is a very meaningful one. Another visible change is on the bottom of the mouse. For the first time, users can see screws exposed directly on the surface. Why does this matter? Because it hints at easier repairability. The MX Master series has always been powerful but not always easy to fix. If the battery needed replacing, or if a switch started failing, many users had no practical way to repair it. With visible screws, opening the mouse becomes easier. This could mean that Logitech is finally acknowledging the need for user-serviceable parts. Of course, it is not guaranteed. Some screws might still be hidden under the glide skates, but even partial improvements in repairability are welcome, especially in a time when more people are concerned about sustainability and product longevity. Beyond design, the MX Master 4 also introduces completely new features. The most exciting is haptic sense feedback. For the first time, Logitech is adding physical vibrations to the mouse. This means the mouse can provide feedback for actions and notifications. Imagine feeling a subtle vibration when switching profiles, confirming an action, or even receiving an alert. Haptic feedback opens up a new way for users to interact with their mouse. It is more than just a click. It is a physical signal that connects software and hardware. The second major addition is the Actions Ring. This is a customizable on-screen overlay that users can access with a new thumb button. The overlay provides shortcuts and tools that are specific to the app you are using. For example, in a design app, it could show layer controls. In a video editor, it could provide quick trimming options. In everyday tasks, it could display shortcuts for copy, paste, or switching desktops. The key here is flexibility. Instead of relying on memory for dozens of shortcuts, users can call up the Actions ring and see everything at a glance. This feature could significantly boost productivity for people who juggle multiple apps and workflows. Of course, Logitech did not throw away what already worked. The MX Master 4 keeps all the strengths that made its predecessors beloved. The 8000 dpi dark-field sensor is still here. This is the sensor that allows the mouse to track on almost any surface, including glass. For people who work in different environments, cafes, co-working spaces, studios, that versatility is essential. The max speed scroll will also returns. This is the hallmark feature that allows users to scroll line by line with precision or spin freely at high speed through long documents. It is one of those features that you can't live without once you've tried it. Quiet clicks are another returning feature. The MX Master 4 is designed to reduce noise while clicking, which is especially appreciated in shared offices or quiet work environments. And of course, multi-device connectivity remains. The mouse can connect through Logi Bolt or Bluetooth, making it easy to switch between multiple computers or devices with a single button press. For professionals who move between a laptop, a desktop, and maybe even a tablet, this seamless connectivity is crucial. But not everything has changed. One limitation remains. The polling rate of the MX Master 4 is still 125 Hz. This is fine for productivity work but not ideal for competitive gaming. Gaming mice often offer polling rates of 1000 Hz or higher, which provides smoother responsiveness. Logitech has clearly chosen to focus the MX Master 4 on productivity rather than gaming. For creators, programmers, and office workers, this will not be a problem. But for gamers who are hoping for pro-level responsiveness in an MX Master body, this may be a disappointment. In summary, the MX Master 4 is a careful balance between old strengths and new improvements. Logitech has addressed long-time complaints like sticky materials. They have added exciting features like haptic feedback and the Actions ring. They have kept all the productivity-focused features that users rely on daily. And while they have not turned the mouse into a gaming powerhouse, they have made it more versatile, durable, and customizable. This first half of the story is about what the MX Master 4 is on paper. In the second half, we will look at what it means, why these changes matter, how they shape the future of productivity peripherals, and what role the MX Master 4 will play in a world where our tools are expected to do more, last longer, and fit seamlessly into complex workflows. When we talk about the MX Master 4, it is easy to get lost in the specs and features. But the bigger question is, what does all this actually mean for real users? Why do these changes matter? To answer that, we have to look at the history of the MX Master series and the larger world of productivity tools. The MX Master line has always been more than just a mouse. For many professionals, it is the centerpiece of their daily workflow. Designers rely on its precise scroll wheels. Developers appreciate the ability to map shortcuts to extra buttons. Writers enjoy the smooth comfort during long typing and editing sessions. In this sense, the MX Master series has never competed directly with gaming mice or basic office mice. Instead, it has carved out a unique identity, the premium productivity mouse. So when Logitech improves materials, adds haptic feedback, and introduces something like the Actions ring, they are not just tweaking details. They are reinforcing that identity. The message is clear. The MX Master is the tool you choose if you want more control, more customization, and more comfort during long hours of work. Let's start with durability. For years, one of the most common complaints about MX Master mice was the sticky rubber issue. It may sound like a small problem, but for people who use the mouse for thousands of hours, it becomes a daily frustration. By changing the shell material, Logitech has signaled that they are listening to longtime users. This move builds trust. It shows they are not only interested in selling a new product, but also in solving real problems that have been pointed out again and again. The visible screws point in the same direction. Repairability is no longer a niche demand. More people now care about fixing their devices instead of throwing them away. Batteries eventually wear out. Switches eventually fail. By making it easier to open the mouse, Logitech is acknowledging this reality. It is a step towards sustainability, even if it is not perfect. In the long run, this could mean fewer MX Masters ending up in drawers or landfills when all they need is a new battery. Now let's look at haptic feedback. At first glance, it might seem like a gimmick, but think about how much of our digital work relies on feedback. On smartphones, haptic vibrations confirm taps and gestures. On controllers, they provide immersion in games. Bringing this to a mouse adds another layer of interaction. Imagine feeling a light pulse when you activate a custom command, or a subtle vibration when switching between work profiles. It can reduce uncertainty, reinforce muscle memory, and make the experience more tactile. For creators juggling dozens of shortcuts, that extra feedback can be powerful. The Actions ring takes customization even further. Traditionally, mice offer programmable buttons. The MX Master line already had several, and users could assign shortcuts as needed. But the Actions ring adds a dynamic visual layer. Instead of remembering which button does what, users can open the ring and see options right on the screen. This bridges the gap between hardware and software. It makes advanced workflows more accessible, even for users who are not power users. Over time, this could change how people think about using a mouse, not just as a pointer but as a hub for productivity commands. Keeping the core features like the 8000 dpi dark-field sensor, mag-speed scroll wheel, quiet clicks, and multi-device connectivity was also essential. These are the foundation of the MX Master experience. They are the reasons people fall in love with the series in the first place. By keeping them intact, Logitech avoids alienating its loyal base while layering on new improvements. Of course, there is still the limitation of the 125 Hz polling rate. This confirms that the MX Master 4 is not for competitive gamers. But maybe that is not a weakness. Maybe it is a statement. Logitech is making it clear that this is not a gaming mouse in disguise. It is unapologetically a productivity mouse. And in doing so, it strengthens its niche. Instead of trying to please everyone, it focuses on the professionals, the creators, the people who value comfort and customization over raw speed. Now let's compare the MX Master 4 to its competitors. On the gaming side, brands like Razer, Corsair, and SteelSeries dominate with ultra-high polling rates and featherlight designs. Those mice are built for speed and precision in games. But they often lack the ergonomic design, the advanced scrolling, and the software integration that the MX Master offers. On the productivity side, very few mice come close. Microsoft's Surface Mouse is sleek but simple. Apple's Magic Mouse is stylish but not nearly as ergonomic. Even other Logitech mice like the MX Anywhere are designed for portability rather than full control. In this landscape, the MX Master 4 continues to stand alone. The MX Master 4 also reflects a broader shift in how we think about tools. Work is no longer confined to one desk or one device. Many professionals now move between laptops, desktops, tablets, and even phones during a single day. A mouse that can switch seamlessly between multiple devices, without losing performance, is not a luxury anymore. It is a necessity. The MX Master 4 embraces this reality with Logi Bolt and Bluetooth connectivity. This makes it easier to stay productive across different platforms. Battery life and sustainability are another part of the story. While Logitech has not promised revolutionary changes in battery capacity, the combination of a new shell material, potential repairability, and efficient components means the MX Master 4 could last longer than previous models. And in a world where more companies are talking about sustainability, Logitech can use this as a selling point. A mouse that lasts longer, works better, and can potentially be repaired is more aligned with modern values than one that simply gets replaced every few years.